Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Instagram Live Q&A. My name is Matt Van Winkle with the Iowa State University Alumni Association. Our guest today is EllieMae Millenkamp. She is a 2020 graduate of Iowa State with a degree in agricultural business. A native of Jerome, Idaho, EllieMae has always had a passion for singing. During her senior year, she was featured on the NBC show The Voice and got selected during her blind audition by Blake Shelton.
Hi!
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So where are you joining us from today?
I am actually back home, so I'm in Jerome, Idaho.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So from what I was reading about you, your parents own a dairy farm, is that right?
Yep, we own a big dairy farm here in Idaho. Our dairy farm is about 80 miles from here, and we milk about 20,000 cows, and then we raise a bunch of calves too. So we have about 100,000 cows total that we're farming.
So we're in corn and soybean country, and you're in Dairyland, I guess. I guess people don't. I wouldn't really think of Idaho as dairy area, but is that?
Everybody thinks it's potatoes, but we a lot more dairy farms than potato farms.
Interesting. Great. Well, thanks for joining us again today. We're just going to go through kind of a list of questions. We'll kind of get you going here, and then we'll do maybe a little performance at the end.
Yep.
We also want to encourage people to just ask questions in the comments if they have any questions for EllieMae about her experience on The Voice or her time as a student at Iowa State. So, EllieMae, tell us about why you chose to study at Iowa State, coming from Idaho.
Yep. So my dad was actually born and raised in Iowa, in Dyersville, Iowa. They have a farm there still. And when I was looking at schools, I know I wanted to go for agricultural business or something related to agriculture. And I was actually looking at Colorado State. And then my aunt, she wanted me to come visit her my senior year of high school. So I ended up going out there to visit them, and I toured the campus and fell in love with it. So I just decided to go to Iowa State. So
Okay.
I love my cousin. He was actually in the same degree as me in the same year. So we had a bunch of classes together. So it was really fun.
So with your background being, living on a dairy farm or working on your parents' dairy farm, was that kind of why you decided to pursue an agricultural business degree?
Yep. Growing up, I actually always wanted to be a vet. So that was like my goal for going into college. But then I kind of changed my mind once I started taking classes and just went the business route. I do want to come back to the farm and help out. So, well, I am back now, but.
Great. So is that what you're kind of planning to do with your degree, is working back on the farm, or what are your kind of career goals now that you're graduated?
I want to just stay on the family farm and help my family continue to expand and grow and keep it a family business.
Great. Perfect. You were kind of in that interesting boat where you just graduated this past semester, where you guys weren't able to be on campus for a while. What was that experience like?
It was so weird. I mean, this whole year has been really weird. The beginning of last semester too, with just going off of The Voice. So it was just a really weird year and playing a lot of shows. And then the whole quarantine thing happened and classes got shut down. I just ended up coming back to home and working on the farm and helping out. So it just kind of seemed normal, but yeah, it was a weird way to end my senior year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so many people around the country were in your boat. Were you able to get back at all to campus and see people, or?
Yeah, I went back for graduation. So we did our ceremony. So I got back with a few of my buddies and we watched the video in our house and celebrated.
Great. You had a kind of a whirlwind semester then, or senior year, I guess, where I guess I can't remember exactly when you auditioned, and maybe you can tell us, but you were on The Voice. Tell us how first let's start with your passion for music and kind of how you got involved with music, and then talk us through that, getting on the show as well.
So I grew up singing in church my whole life. So my mom, when I was little, she used to bribe me to sing at church. She said if I would sing, she'd give me a toy. So I started singing in church, and I went to a private Christian school. So I sang on the worship team there as well.
Sure.
And, I didn't really get into country music until college. I taught myself how to play guitar in middle school. So I'd play guitar, and then when I got to college, I had a friend reach out to me that was in the same degree, and he's like, "You're really good. You should start recording and writing and singing and stuff." I was like, "Okay, yeah, that would be kind of cool." And so he brought me to a studio, and I started recording at a studio. And then he was the first guy that I ever opened up for. That was my first show. His name's Tyler Richton in the High Bank Boys. So he graduated last year with agricultural business. But yeah, so then I just started playing a bunch of shows. I got a band. I got involved in like a worship team in Iowa and just started playing a lot more. And then The Voice, they actually reached out to me and asked me to come do a private audition with them.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, they found me on Instagram and they reached out to me and said, will you come do an audition with us? I was like, sure. So I flew to Denver and did an audition with them, sang a few songs and did some interviews, and they liked me. So then I went to LA for the blinds.
That's really cool. I didn't realize how that kind of came about, where they discovered you almost. That's really cool.
Yeah, so they actually they have like talent scouts. So they do the open calls, and then they have scouts that kind of go out and look for artists that are trying to pursue full time as well.
Yeah. It's a little bit different, I guess, than like American Idol, where, I mean, it's similar, where like you have to go and perform, but The Voice is kind of like you're already on the big stage performing in front of all these people already. So what was that experience like to get on the show?
Oh my gosh. So I'm like super camera shy, and I have never been that nervous in my whole life. When I walked on stage, I thought I was going to throw up, but it ended up going pretty well. Obviously, Blake turned around for me, which was really cool. Yeah. And just all the connections that I made on the show, it was like, they're like memories and people that I'll have in my life forever. And yes, like some of the contestants are some of my best friends now, which is awesome. Yeah. But yeah, getting to work with Blake was really cool. He's a awesome guy, super funny and down to earth. And then getting to meet everyone else, Gwen Stefani and John Legend, Kelly Clarkson, obviously not a lot of people get to meet them. So it was really cool.
Man, you really did come quite a long way from your first performance being when you were a student in Ames, and then just a couple of years later, you're on TV performing in front of some of the biggest musicians in the world.
Iowa State, really, everything just fell together when I went there, because I just was doing music as a hobby, and then now it's kind of getting more serious. But my sophomore year, I did the Cyclone Voice, and that was really cool. I got to meet Lauren Elena and hang out with her. And then my junior year of college, me and my guitar player, we did a song for like the homecoming pep rally. So we got to do that too. So I've played a lot around campus, and it's really made me love music a lot more, which is cool.
So when you were on the show, you said you got a chair turn from Blake Shelton. Talk about what it was like working with him and getting coached by him for a while.
So I have never taken any vocal lessons or guitar lessons or anything during my life. So he was the first person that has ever coached me. So that was like super cool to get to learn from him. And I learned a lot about, stage presence, and then a lot about confidence, and learning more about my vocal strength and how to breathe and stuff, because I never really knew like all the techniques. And so he helped me with that, which was really cool. And he's hilarious. He's just as funny as he is on the show. But yeah, he's a nice guy.
Cool. We had a question actually that came in asking about if you have any ways of dealing with stage fright, or if you've experienced that.
To be honest, if I deal with stage fright, sometimes I just take like a shot of tequila right before a show. No, I don't really deal with it. I always get kind of nervous, which is normal. They say if you're nervous, it's good. So I guess when I don't get nervous anymore, we'll have something to worry about.
Yeah. Did you learn anything about yourself opening up like that, being on the show? What did you learn about yourself throughout that experience?
Just something I learned in general was just to have more confidence, and just to be like, to know that I have a gift and to use that gift, because a lot of people have a talent and they don't use their talent, but God gives us these talents for a reason, and we use these. So yeah, that's something I really learned about being on the show, and getting to dive more into my music was really cool.
So you mentioned that you are a self-taught musician, right? How did you self-teach yourself, and how did you kind of improve yourself getting better? Did you watch certain people? Did it take lots of practice, or how did you get to where you are?
Actually, I have a really good family friend, Ryan Stevenson, and he's actually a famous Christian artist. If you listen to like the Christian radio, you'll hear him all the time. But he would come to my house all the time when I was growing up for Thanksgiving, and he'd always play guitar. And I want to be like him when I grow up. So I ended up getting a guitar, and I just he taught me like a couple chords, and then after that I would just watch videos and look at like chord charts on YouTube and like the internet and just try to copy it, and then once you get it down, then move on to the next chord.
Yeah, very cool. So you're back home now. I don't know the last time you were able to do a show or anything like that, but do you do a lot of shows in your community, or do you do are you coming back to Iowa for any shows, or?
Oh, I was playing a ton in Iowa, and which was really nice, and I booked shows in Idaho as well, but a lot of my shows this summer are actually getting canceled just due to the coronavirus. But I had a couple shows last weekend, which was really nice. Those were my first shows in over 2 months, which was really crazy. But yeah, I have a lot of shows booked for the rest of the year. I'll be back in Iowa in July for some shows. So
Very cool. How do you maybe use your musical talents to help others? Do you ever perform at, you know, in your community events, or do you give lessons, or what are some ways that you use your talents to help people?
I'm actually just going to start giving vocal lessons, which is weird because I've never had vocal lessons myself, but I'm going to start giving some vocal lessons to some girls around here. And then also just playing at my church around here is like a way for me to give back and, you know, share my talent. So I like playing in church.
Cool. What's next for you with your music career? Where do you hope this takes you?
Well, I'm just going to keep playing shows and writing and recording and see how it goes. I mean, if I can eventually do music full time, that's what I would love to do. But I'm really blessed to have a family that is really flexible with my schedule. So I'll just be working on the farm unless I have a show. So yeah, I want to do music full time, but with the coronavirus and everything, I'll just be working here.
Very cool. So I'm going to take us back to your time at Iowa State when you were was it ag business, I believe? Ag business was your major. What were some things that you took away from your time as a student here? What did you enjoy most about being a student, and what types of things did you learn in that major that are going to help you in your career?
So I really enjoyed my major, agricultural business, and I took a lot of entrepreneurship classes, which were some of my favorite classes, and they were all ag based, but it was really nice because I can apply them to my music career too. And then just the community, like everybody in Iowa is so nice. Everybody always says that, but it's really true. And just like the networking that I'll have for down the road is going to be really nice. But I always tell everyone, if I was to choose again, I would definitely come back to Iowa State. Very
cool. So not Idaho, Iowa. People always get those confused, right?
They do. It's really funny. So like when I was on The Voice, like people from Idaho didn't realize I was going to school in Iowa.
Sure.
And then people in Iowa were writing articles about me, right? So they're like, oh, Iowa State, Iowa person's on The Voice. And then people from Idaho would be like commenting on the post, she's not from Iowa, she's from Idaho. I'm like, no, I go to school in Iowa.
There's a really funny T-shirt. I think Raygun made it. That's it's got like Idaho, Iowa, Ohio on it. It says like Idaho, Iowa, the great potato corn state. I don't know. Yeah.
Everybody gets them confused. So I just tell everyone potato state.
That's right. So talk to us about the song that you performed on The Voice. What did you end up deciding?
Yeah, so I picked the song Merry Go Round by Kacey Musgraves. So I've always sang the song at shows, and I love Kacey Musgraves. Like I relate to her a lot as a writer, and yeah, like her songwriting is very similar to mine. So I thought that would be a good representation for me to sing on stage. And yeah, it went really well. I really love that song. So it's really special to me.
Cool. Do you want to play that song for us, or do you have anything else in mind you want to play?
Yeah, play that one. Do you want me to do it? Oh?
Yeah, perfect.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let me grab my guitar.
Sounds good.
All right. If you ain't got 2 kids by 21, probably gonna die alone. At least that's what tradition told you. It don't matter if you
don't believe come Sunday morning, you best be there in the front row like you're supposed to. Same hurt in every heart, same trail, a different part. 'Cause mama's hooked on Mary Kay, brother's hooked on Mary Jane, daddy's hooked on Mary two doors down. Mary, Mary, Clark and Cherry, we get bored so we get married, and just like dust we settle in this town. On this broken merry-go-round, this merry-go-round. We think the first time's good enough, so we hold on to high school love, so we won't end up like our parents, tiny little boxes in a row. It ain't what you want, it's what you know. Just happy in the shoes you're wearing. Same checks we're always cashing to buy a little more distraction. 'Cause mama's hooked on Mary Kay, brother's hooked on Mary Jane, daddy's hooked on Mary two doors down. And Mary, Mary, Clark and Cherry, we're so bored until we're buried, and just like dust we settle in this town. On this broken merry-go-round, this merry-go-round. Ooh.
Woo. Yay! That was awesome.
Thank you.
So is that one you like to play in shows when you do?
Yeah, I always, and then I tell people, like at my show, I'll be like, if you didn't know, I was on The Voice last season, and this is the song that I used for my blind audition. So yeah, it's a special song.
Do you write your own music at all, or have you started doing that?
Yeah, I love writing. I write a lot, and I have some songs out on like iTunes and Spotify that are original songs.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Where can people find your music? Are you on, like you said, iTunes? Where else can people find you, or maybe where you're going to be doing some shows?
All musical platforms, I have music out under my name, EllieMae, and it's just one word with a capital M. So iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, all that good stuff. And then you can also like follow me on my Instagram account or like my Facebook page, EllieMae Music, and that's where I post where all my shows are going to be. And yeah, so if you want to keep up with events, then just go follow my music page. Perfect.
Well, before we wrap up, I just want to encourage people that are watching to consider supporting the Iowa State University Alumni Association by becoming a member. Look into membership. It's open to everyone. It's not just open to graduates of Iowa State. Anybody can join the Alumni Association here. Friends of Iowa State, if you had a family member that went here, and I know EllieMae, it wasn't the ideal way for you to finish your senior year at Iowa State, but congratulations on graduating, and thanks for taking some time to play a song and answer some questions for us.
So much for asking me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, and we'll hopefully talk soon, okay?
You have a good day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.